To 7Shadows Market. We are Montgomery, Alabama's Enchanted Geek Shop. Where are we located? Well, I'll recap this again at the end, but let me go ahead and get it out to you. My shop, it's located inside Eastbrook Flea Market and Antique Mall. That's 425 Coliseum Boulevard, and that is in Montgomery, Alabama. And you need to come down to the basement, okay? The bunker, the dungeon, the bat cave, if you will. That's where my largest section is, where the posters and all that kind of stuff is, as well as what we're here to discuss today. Today I'm going to discuss something that I'm really excited to have available now, as I'm pushing forward for us to be, for 7Shadows Market to be Montgomery, Alabama's Cardfight Vanguard home. And what a great way to launch all this with the latest edition of the ever popular, internationally popular Cardfight Vanguard trading card game. It's the new edition overdress. And what's great about it is there's Cardfight Vanguard, if you're not familiar with it, and if you are, then bear with me. If you're not familiar with Cardfight Vanguard, it's been around for over a decade. It's from Bushiroad, which is a Japanese trading card company. And it's had an anime that goes along with it. Now, the animes are cool. They're not essential for you to watch the anime to understand the gameplay. What's great about overdress is I'm filming this video here in November of 2021. Well, this game, this edition of the game, just started this year. So with a lot of games, when you're looking to get into a trading card game, if you get in after it's been out for a long time, it's hard to jump into it, because there's not start decks available, and you have to go through some. I mean, it can be done, and people do it all the time. But isn't it much simpler to get in on the groundwork, get in on ground zero when it starts? So that's where overdress is great, because this is the new standard edition of Cardfight Vanguard. It has a couple additions to the gameplay, some changes where the previous game concentrated on different clans, and there was a bunch of different clans. Well, now all the clans have been put together into nations. So there's another edition you can play of Cardfight Vanguard called Premium, where all the old cards as well as some of the overdress cards can all work into. But that's for a later discussion. What I want to talk about today is the start decks to get you going in Vanguard, Cardfight Vanguard overdress. So I'm going to go and give you a little summary over some of the different styles, because I think with every kind of game you play, I don't care if you're playing Monopoly or Tiddlywinks, your personality comes out in your gameplay. And that's one of the reasons I want to discuss some basics. These are just basics about these decks, so you get an idea of strategy and which ones might lean more toward your particular preference on styles of play. Now, each of these decks has everything you need to get started. Each deck has 50 cards, and you can start instantly. There are booster cards that are available that you can purchase while I have them, because booster cards can obviously strengthen your decks. Now, within each of these, when you're playing Cardfight Vanguard, there's several different strategies you can utilize in your lines. Think of it just like in hockey. You know, you have a line that does this and a line that does that. Well, within these, you can configure different attack lines, but overall, thematically, they're kind of unifying in their summaries that I'm about to go over with you. So let's start off with the first one that was released. The first one is the Uru Condo deck. This was the first start deck that was issued. Now, I'll be making references to the reason, like Uru Condo, okay? He is a character that is in the new Vanguard overdress anime. It's named after him when actually it is the Holy Dragon deck, okay? But for purposes of the tie-in, this is the deck that he plays with. So in the actual anime, where it doesn't really give you the history of the setting for all these card fights, there's a mythical world of Cray where all these monsters and everything are fighting, and that's where card fighters transport themselves mentally when they're playing the game. Now, the anime has different characters, and every show's going to end in a card fight. But it's not essential for you to know. But this is merchandised as the Uru Condo deck, because this is very similar to the deck that he plays. So you'll actually, if you watch the anime, you'll see him use some of these exact cards. So this is a start deck, and think about this one. If your goal is high numbers per attack, if your goal is to have strong counter blasts, and if you're the type of person that likes to exert a lot of pressure and try to get that game ended early, this is the one for you, okay? So there are some pluses and some minuses on that. Probably because you're just looking for that whole blitzkrieg attack, it's probably the easiest one to get started with. But there are going to be some drawbacks too, and that's the thing with all of these decks, and that's where you just kind of gotta strategize, if I will use such a word. The second deck is the deck reminiscent of the one that Donji uses. This is the Tyrant Tiger. I don't have my glasses on, so I use my glasses for reading, but I can't see the thing very well if I actually have them on. I can't see what I'm doing on the ever low-tech thing I have set up with the phone. So if I refer to these, just keep in mind I can't see this. So this is a combo deck, okay? What's great about the Donji deck is there's a couple different ways that you can play it. But think of it as the Aikido deck, in the sense that if you're familiar with certain aspects of the martial art of Aikido, it's about using someone's momentum against them, and then that becomes your offense. So it has very powerful offense, but there's a lot of resource management too. So there's a lot of things you have to think about. And what's great about this deck is you're trying, when people are coming at you, you're waiting for them. You're strategizing them to make certain maneuvers, and when they do, all their momentum you can use against them, and that becomes even more powerful. So it is one that, again, high on the resource management, but it's really great to capitalize on someone else's mistake. So you could see already that if you were playing with somebody with a UU deck, there'd be a good balance, counterbalance to see who has the most skill in this. And in the actual anime, UU is very much the prodigy. And he is the apprentice, so to speak, or someone that Donji is mentoring. Let's go with the third deck. This is a cool deck. Some interesting things with this deck, and actually it'll be a good fighting deck when I should go over another one. This is the Toyo Ibata deck. This deck is also an aggressive deck. A little bit different in the way that its aggressive approach is, however. Now, if you're familiar with Cardfight Vanguard or not, I'll just recap. When you have your cards lined up, you have a front row and then you have a back row. You have your guard positions, okay? So what this deck is good for, because it is an aggressive deck, but it is really great for using those guards to help with multiple attacks. So those guards become great support, so you get great offensive support from your guard positions. So that can result in some very aggressive attacks. Now, drawback? The drawback to that is the defense isn't very high, because you're using those guards more in an offensive strategy. So, again, another good aggressive deck there. Again, the defense can be a little suspect, but like everything, a lot of it, obviously, what is your opponent going to be doing? This is another cool deck here. We're going to go to the fourth deck. This is the Montgomery deck. This one here is the Sylvan King deck. This is also an aggressive deck, a little bit different though, in the sense that this one is great because you can use multiple attacks on this one. And now it's not like the Ibata deck where you have the guards being utilized so much in that manner, but it is a cool deck. Now, the thing with this deck is that you have to be sure that you are managing your resources early and managing them correctly early. If you don't, then you don't have enough juice, so to speak, to take advantage of those multiple attacks. But if you like, just think of it in total combo blitzes, this is a great one for that in terms of being able to just hit that barrage. I'm going to go on to this next deck. This is an interesting deck. Now, this deck is not an aggressive deck, and it's not really a combo deck either. This one here is this is the Tamarito deck. This one is cool if you really like to frustrate your opponent. It's a control deck. This one is about handcuffing those rear guards. It is about frustrating the you-know-what out of your opponent. So if you like to frustrate them and you keep blocking what they want to do by shutting them down, this is the deck for you. So you can already kind of see some interesting dynamic that you could have, whereas if you have this deck where you can control and clamp down and handcuff those guards against the Ibata deck, which utilizes those guards in a very offensive manner, there's a lot of things you can do. Rear guards in a very offensive manner. There's a lot of cool things you can do. So if you just like making them mad, and every time they make a move and you stifle it by clamping down on them, then you sit there and then you chuckle and then you drink your beverage of choice while you watch them get aggravated, that's the deck for you. The newest deck that has been added, the newest deck as of this video, is the Lyrical Monasterio deck. This is the 6th deck. Now, this was not part of the original deck, so this one has been added. Recently, it came out October, which in the case of this video would be last month. A very interesting deck, a very versatile deck. Okay, so much versatility, something that you really need to plan out what you're doing. Not a ton of resources to manage, but you can't waste what you have. But there's a lot of interesting attacks on there. And this is a just for aesthetic piece. It's a very artsy kind of deck. I mean, obviously it says Lyrical. Now I do have the booster still in stock. That there now all the boosters I run those for about $5 a pack. Now, what's cool about the boosters is, even though, like, for these, you would get the Lyrical Melody booster pack. Now, the Lyrical Melody booster pack obviously helps reinforce these cards, but there are things in that booster that will work for all the other cards. So, there's a quick rundown. So, what do you need to get started? You need a friend, someone that's going to play, and each of you needs a deck. Going over these scenarios, and these are just general summaries, okay? You can, within these decks, again, there's 50 cards. 50 cards, and you can adjust. So within my kind of description I went over, it'd be a good opportunity for you just to pair up with someone and try to find those good decks that are kind of go against each other a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Dear world, y'all can get the same decks and just try to see who's better at controlling whatever. But all these games are, again, I think so much more enjoyable when you do find something that works your personality. Now, with these particular card games, if you guys that play, guys and gals out there that play, you already know. But stick with a deck. Learn it, work it, know what it can do, know what it can't do. And if there's things that it can't do, how do you overcome those? Because you're going to have to play several times. Many times to understand how these interact. Now, there's a lot of resources out there. If you check my website, 7shadows.com, that's the number 7, the word shadows.com, you'll find a lot of information that I have reprinted on there from the Bushy Road website. Again, Bushy Road is the maker of Cardfight Vanguard. Now, so there's some summaries on there, and a lot of click-through links where you can go to the actual Bushy Road website. Now, there's also a video I have embedded on there that gives you the basics on how to start playing. There's a lot of links on there, a lot of great resources. So again, there's a couple Cardfight Vanguard tabs on my website, 7shadows.com, the number 7, the word shadows.com. Click those and they'll take you through specific. The Bushy Road website has a ton of stuff on there, but what I tried to do on my website was just to channel you into the sections that you need to know the most about, that will guide you into helping learn the game. So it's fun and exciting. And the cool thing about trading card games is I know a lot of people that collect the cards. They don't even play the game, but they collect the cards. And if you simply want to collect the cards, wow, this is a dynamite set too. Great anime, manga-based artwork. I really love the cards on here. You might see a few of them flashing behind me on the old screen. There's on the website too. I also have some different samples of the different cards on there. So there's my spiel. There's the little rundown. Really excited to have this on board and to be the place where you can come and get this stuff. I'll be also carrying, so you get an idea of what I'll be doing going forward. I'll be carrying more trading card games and really specializing in the anime related ones, because I feel that's an underserved market. There's a lot of great trading card games out there, and you guys know the big ones, man. You know them so well, and that's awesome. This is just another avenue for folks to play. And let's face it, there's some folks that might really be interested in collecting cards or in getting into trading card, collectible card games, but maybe Dragons and that kind of stuff isn't really their thing. Well, this is a great thing for them to get into. In fact, what you'll also find, unrelated to this topic, but I know a lot of folks that started getting into the trading card games because they liked Pokemon. So they started with the Pokemon games, and then they got into anime, they got into the whole collectible card games and all that stuff. So I think Cardfight Vanguard is another great avenue for folks to have a game. I'll have some other things in the future as well. I'm currently carrying Final Fantasy, so I have a brand new start deck for that over here, as well as other stuff. Just stay on the YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook, 7Shadows Market, Instagram, Pinterest. I got all this here. YouTube channel. Subscribe so you can get more of my ramblings. And of course, I ramble a lot on the website because I like to talk. And as you can tell, this is not a high-tech particular affair when I do these videos. And if you saw my earlier videos, one of the reasons that is I want you to get a vibe of what it's like here in the shop when you come hang out with me and we talk about geeky things, because again, it's 7Shadows Market, Montgomery, Alabama's Enchanted Geek Shop. I like dragons, I like Dracula, I like anime, classic rock. Well, it wasn't classic when we were listening to it the first time around, but all that kind of stuff you'll find here. I always say from Disney to dragons to Dracula, and come see us. Because what am I? What am I here at 7Shadows Market? I'm just your typical, everyday, you know, geek shop, goth shop, hippie shop, holistic, anime, record, comic book kind of place. It's that simple.